Now I'm gonna find me a boss man. One gonna treat me right. Let me wake in the daytime. Get my rest at night, big boss man. Can't you help me when I come?
Welcome to College Hill's Dear Macon Night. Thanks so much for being here. Dear Macon, would you close your eyes with me? No kumbaya just yet. That might come later. I'm not promising anything. This is an emotional night for a lot of us. Close your eyes. Let's recreate some memories, all right? You're at a press conference in Tattnall Park in 2007. Mayor Ellis and President Underwood have just met with 4 Mercer seniors, Alex Morrison, Matt Wetherington, Veronica McClendon, and Kim Humphreys. And they've agreed to jointly name a task force to address the town gown disconnect and walkability issues in town and downtown Macon. They've been inspired to harness the power of Macon's creative class to be the change that they want to see in the community. Here's what you see and know. You know the Knight Foundation and Historic Macon have partnered to do some major renovations in the neighborhood. And that neighborhood looks beautiful, but people still kind of think it's unsafe down here. It gets dark at night and people don't want to wander in. You know that's not true, but you also know that that's the perception. Look around you at Tattnall Park. There's not wood chips on the playground, and there are holes in the soccer nets. And, wow, I don't know what to do about the tennis courts. Where's the fountain? It's down in 3rd Street Park, and doesn't have any water in it. The Silver family doesn't even live in the corridor yet, so you haven't started getting emails about the trees and the coming fountain from Andrew Silver. Not quite yet. Behind you on Mount Pelier are some businesses that have been empty for 20 years, sometimes more. Right? You may have some college memories from M&M's, I don't know about those, but all the businesses are empty there. There are a few growing bars and restaurants in downtown Macon, but if you want to get there, you're going to have to get in your car and drive there. There's no bike lanes, right? Gosh, and there's no real place to lock your bike up if you're brave enough to ride your bike downtown. A woman with a vision says the Knight Foundation is interested in this project. Students complain about not having anything to do at night or on the weekends. You know, we don't have a college football team in Macon in 2007. They mostly live in apartments around in Macon, sometimes in North Macon or in houses that have been subdivided. There's not a lot of student housing out in this neighborhood quite yet. They know about Facebook, but we don't. I didn't know about Facebook in 2007. I'm not sure about you guys. Josh Rogers has just completed his master's degree in England, and he's thinking about taking a job in South Carolina. We've heard about a woman named Jessica Walden who has some great talent, and we wonder kind of what she'll be doing for the next few years. Larry Brumley had free time in 2007, maybe, I don't know. There's a dog park around the corner, but we're not sure how to get there yet, and there's not that much to do if you take your dog there, not that many shade trees. There's some new and refurbished homes and some mixed-income apartments in Bells Hill across from the Bear's Den. I wonder if they'll stick around and be nice. A few, down the street, there's water flowing in Washington Park. Gosh, that seems like there's kind of a natural amphitheater, maybe for a concert, I don't know. And what could you possibly do with that steep hill down Magnolia? Down in Magnolia, I hear on Thursday nights there might be a cocktail hour where anyone's welcome if you show up. But that's what's happening on Magnolia. It's safe, right, to walk down there. I want you to fast forward. You can open your eyes if you've closed them and we're compliant. To our very first Second Sunday Gospel Brunch. We called it the Second Sunday Gospel Brunch. It was at the brunch hour. We had gospel music. There's a rickety stage. We had a little bit of money to splurge for some free mimosas for the first 50 folks who showed up, and I'm pretty sure everyone who showed up got a mimosa. Josh Rogers, Brad Evans, and Josh's roommate and I built a stage in my backyard, and that's why it was rickety. But everybody came, right? Folks came, and they spread the word. Wow, this place is different. We're different. We have different skill sets, as JR has mentioned. We've got new dreams. Some of our colleagues have retired and moved on to different cities. But before they retired, Bill Cosby, they did some magnificent work here. Some of the students at this press conference became College Hill interns, and then they became colleagues, and then they became community leaders, right? Those of us who had kids in 2007 are going to the tennis courts instead of the baby swings. And some of us who didn't even know each other yet now have babies, and you're pramming around College Hill and the sidewalks, the beautiful sidewalks, and the really savvy among us still don't have kids and can walk to a lot more bars whenever the heck you want to, right? And get a slice of pizza or wings. So, to complete some of our nostalgia, I'd like to introduce and reintroduce Miss Essie Mae Brooks, the first performer at our second Sunday gospel brunch, to come grace us with some of her music again. Thank you so much, and Miss Brooks, please come join me on the stage.
Listen, don't you? Good evening, everybody. Yes, I got it. I got it. Yes, I got it. I got the master on my side. He woke me up this morning, started me on my way. He let me saw another day. I even saw over in another year. I got it. Yes, I got it. I got it. Yes, I got it. I got the master on my side. Got him in my walk, got him in my talk, got him in my heart. He's all over me. I got it. Yes, I got it. I got it. Yes, I got it. I got the master on my side. Do you know him? Do you know him? Do you know him? Wonder, do you know him? I'm talking about Mary, baby. He walked out on the water. He calmed the raging sea. Now do you know him? Do you know him? Do you know him? Wonder, do you know him? Yes, I know him. Yes, I know him. Yes, I know him. Yes, I know him. I got the master on my side. I know, but do I don't see him, but should I sometimes I do, but when I don't, I see myself in the mirror, and I wake Bessie back home. She's a friendly lady, and she's my baby sister. I take care of my brothers and sisters, as should you. I hope you do. Hope is a good thing, but trust in willpower. But don't have a power shower or power shower, a courage shower.
can look for me over in glory. I'll be there.
your prayer. Daddy, I'm still singing your song. Sister, I'm still mourning your home. Y'all can look for me. Y'all can look for me. Y'all can look for me. Over in glory, I'll be there. I've been washed in the water, been baptized in the water. I've been dipped in the water. Now my soul, I'm satisfied. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus washed my sins away. Make me wanna run on in Jesus' name. And Jesus washed my sins away. Make me wanna run on in Jesus' name. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus done washed my sins away. In the water, in the water, in the water, in the water. I've been washed in the water, been baptized in that water. I've been dipped in the water. Now my soul, I'm satisfied. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus done washed my sins away. In the water, in the water, in the water. I've been washed in the water. I've been dipped in the water. Now my soul, I'm satisfied. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus done washed my sins away. There is joy in the water. That joy is in the water. I've been washed in the water, been baptized in the water. Now my soul, I'm satisfied. Jesus done washed my sins away. Jesus done washed my sins away. In the water, in the water, in Jesus done washed my sin away.
Thank you so much to Ms. Brooks for coming back to join us so many years later. Thank you so much. I don't think there's a person in this room who doesn't know who President Bill Underwood is. That's possibly because he's one of the taller people in the room, or maybe he's affixed you with that stare before. You guys know that stare. I want to thank President Underwood, and not just because he's my boss's boss's boss, but because he's been a true leader of this project. He has not taken the credit he deserves, but you have been involved. Our contacts with College Hill from the very beginning were with the president of the university and your chief of staff, and you had a vision and invited us to the table, but also made space for the community to have a voice. So I would like to introduce President Underwood and say thank you very much.
So Sarah told you about the second Sunday brunch we had with Miss Brooks. You were fantastic. I was there that day. She said that we gave free mimosas to the first 50 who appeared. I got 2. I think there were maybe 25 of us at that first one. My assignment tonight is to talk about the beginning of this endeavor. It began in the fall of 2006. I was a brand new president at Mercer. I just arrived, and there was a class going on that I knew nothing about. There were 17 students in it. It was called something like Saviors of Our Cities. And what these students were studying in this class taught by a philosophy professor was strategies for revitalizing decaying communities. Alex, you were in the class. Is that what you all were studying? Yes. And they produced a paper at the end of the class that was their recommendations on how we could revitalize the district in Macon between Mercer and downtown. And, you know, like most class projects, the paper very likely would have gone nowhere and done anything, except 4 of these students decided that they wanted to take a second class to follow up on the first. So this philosophy professor, Peter Brown, created a second class for these 4 students, and it was called Philosophy of Persuasion. And they were told that they would get an A if they could convince the mayor and me to go along with this plan. So the 4 of them, Alex Morrison, who's still here, Veronica Allen, who's an attorney here in town now, a very bright young woman, Matt Wetherington, who's now an attorney in Atlanta, and Kimberly, what was Kimberly's last name?
Humphreys.
Kimberly Humphreys, who's in California. The 4 of them on March 16th, 2007, came by my office with Peter Brown and told me what they had in mind. They said that the goal was to create a district that would help us attract and retain creative, talented young people in our community. That sounded pretty good to me. And they told me what their strategies were, which were to continue efforts to revitalize the beautiful historic neighborhoods in that district, to attract new retail into that district, and to create a sense of community or a sense of place through activities. And all that sounded great because to me I thought, you know, that can help us attract some good students to Mercer too. So I told them I was with them and suggested they go talk to the mayor. And they did. 4 weeks later, on April 23rd, 2007, they went to see Mayor Ellis. I went with them, and they told him what they told me, and he liked it too. He was for it. So a week later, on May 1st, 2007, at 3 in the afternoon, we had a press conference over in Tattnall Square Park, and we announced the College Hill Corridor Initiative. Where did that name come from, Alex?
We just combined some things.
Yeah. It was a good name. And we picked two co-chairs. The mayor picked one and I picked the other. The mayor's choice was a talented young man in economic development named Kevin DuBose. And my greatest appointment at Mercer was Sarah Gerwig-Moore as Mercer's representative, as co-chair of the commission. And then Kevin and Sarah got together right after the news conference, and they made the best hire they could possibly make. They convinced Josh Rogers to come back to Macon and be the first full-time employee of this endeavor. The city paid half his salary, Mercer paid half his salary, and we were off and running. It was a year later that the first new retail in the district opened up in April of 2008. Anybody remember what the first new retail in over a generation was?
Bike store?
No. It was the pizza place over on Montpelier, which was originally Ingoldsby Village 2 and is now Sauced. That was the first new retail in over a generation in the corridor in April of 2008. So here we are, 8 years after that news conference, and I think it's obvious that amazing things have occurred. I sat down and calculated how much new private and public investment had occurred in the corridor in that 8-year period. I've been telling people $125 million, but I really hadn't done the math. And when I did it today, it was $197.5 million. And I went back and looked at how many students we enrolled at Mercer in 2007 and compared it to 2015. And, you know, one of the goals was to attract talented young people into our community. And we've grown our undergraduate student population by 25% during that period, and the credentials are off the charts. So it's been a tremendous success in terms of attracting investment into this district. It's been a tremendous success in terms of attracting talented young people. I think the most striking thing tends to be the things you can see and some of the physical improvements that we've seen over the last 8 years. Larry, do you have that slide? Those slides? Yeah, let's go through this. Okay, that's Mercer Village in 2007. We'll go back to 2007. See those boards on the windows? That was my favorite, you know, the boards on the windows. All right, let's see Mercer Village today. I mean, how's that for a difference? Let's go to the next one, Larry. of this church. What's that communicate? Death? Decimation? Detroit? All right, let's sing today. What else you had, Larry? Oh yeah. You all remember that? Yeah. You guys remember that, don't you? Okay, go to the next one. Anything else there?
The flagpole.
Oh, it's good. So we dedicated that fountain.
Oh, there's 3 more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We dedicated or opened or did something with that fountain last Thursday, and it was kind of a moving day. A lot of these kids participated in it, and I thought as we were doing that fountain was in some ways a perfect metaphor for Macon. If you think about the confidence that the people who built that fountain back when it was first put in place a century ago must have had to want to put something like that in the middle of their park. It was a growing community on the move, and then over the subsequent decades the fountain fell into decay and eventually was no longer in use and finally was removed. And I think in some ways that was a metaphor for what Macon was going through in that period in its history. And I also think that the rebirth of the fountain is a very appropriate metaphor for what we're seeing in our community today. And I think that as impressive as the physical improvements in the corridor have been, I think maybe the most impactful thing about this community endeavor has been watching the sense of self-confidence in the community rise as we see the successes that have resulted from this community-wide effort to rebuild our city. And I see that spreading throughout the community now, where people are saying, if we can do that in College Hill, you know, what can we do in Macon? So thank you all for being a big part of this.
Likewise, just as President Underwood needed no introduction, another lady here needs no introduction, and it is in no small part due to her that we are all here tonight. Beverly Blake knew about the creative class. She was waiting, I think, for people to have this idea and for this to bubble up from the community, and bubble up it did. And yet you've been our biggest cheerleader, and we know energy is important, but we needed funding to do a lot of the things that we've done, the Night Neighborhood Challenge and the staff, right? So I'd like to introduce Beverly Blake and ask her to come up here and say a few words.
Thank you all for the last 6 years, for the last 8 years. You know, people said we couldn't do it. People said nobody would want to live in Bells Hill. People said College Hill, the area between Mercer and downtown, was never going to come back. And you proved them wrong. Thank you. You know, funding is important. It really is. You have to have the resources to make the change happen. But as important as funding is it is not nearly as important as the ideas and the vision and the creativity of the people who live in Macon. And the partnerships that have been built over this last 8 years are phenomenal. Starting with Mercer. Knight could not have done what we have been able to support without President Underwood's support and Larry's willingness to talk to me 3 to 5 times a week. So thank you all so much for being such wonderful partners. Historic Macon, with the work they continue in Bells Hill to prove that affordable, safe, attractive neighborhoods are within anyone's reach. Of course, our friends at the Community Foundation. They showed that a challenge can be high-tech, but it's also high-touch. They've worked with all the folks who had great ideas, put people together, and it was phenomenal. The results speak for themselves. But lastly, the College Hill Alliance. 20-somethings and 30-somethings who have changed the world in our part of the world. And I hope you will please join me in recognizing them for their leadership, their stewardship, their humility, and their tenacity, because without them, likely most of this wouldn't have happened. Thank you all so much.
Mayor Reichert, are you still here, or did you slip out when we said that we wanted you to say a few words? Will you come? We could not do this either without the support of our local political leaders. There are bills, there are laws. I mean, I'm a law professor, I know some of this, a little bit. We need that too. And it was also wonderful to work with city leaders, especially Mayor Reichert. We want to introduce him and ask him to say just a few words tonight.
I will be extremely brief, only to say how fortunate I am to have been inaugurated in December of 2007 after all of this had been set in motion. I am the beneficiary of all that came before, so when people say, gosh, Mayor, you're doing a great job, I say the only thing I'm trying to do is hold on to the coattails of Mercer University and the College Hill Alliance. Somebody, these 4 people that came up with this idea of improving the connectivity between Mercer and Macon, the original M&Ms in this part of the country. Mercer and Macon have been a dynamite team since 1871. What they have done to re-energize the College Hill corridor and to improve the connectivity between Mercer and College Hill in downtown Macon has catapulted the revitalization of downtown Macon. They synergize, one feeds into the other, and as somebody said just a few minutes ago, we have reawakened a sense of optimism and enthusiasm that has been absent from this community for decades. With that renewed optimism and enthusiasm, I am confident that the sky is the limit. We can continue to improve the connectivity not only between College Hill and downtown Macon, but Pleasant Hill and downtown Macon, and Tyndall Heights and downtown Macon, and East Macon, with good things going on with the Old Mulgee National Park and Preserve and Clinton Street and all of the Main Street neighborhood. We have got a marvelous continuum of housing within walking distance of a vibrant urban core. And that, my friends, spells walkability. It spells new, modern, up-to-date conditions in which to live in a historic place that has a very unique sense of place. Thanks to so many people with all of their efforts that have done so much to reestablish and restore assets that were here but had fallen into grievous disrepair. Tattnall Square Park being chief among them. To see the transformation of Tattnall Square Park is something you can be proud of and show people. Let me take you by and show you Tattnall Square Park. I wish the fountain picture was up here behind me because I would continue the metaphor that Dr. Underwood began to say that it really is a symbol, and that symbol to me is my cup runneth over. Thank you.
The College Hill Corridor Commission members have always been staff level folks who have to-do lists, and they're just people who can get, there's kids here, stuff done, right? Right? So I wanted to recognize the former and current co-chairs of the Corridor Commission to whom we're handing back this project from the staff. I want to recognize the staff, of course, Heather Holder as the director, J.R. Olive, Nadia Osman, Jessica Walden, all of our staff members, past and present, who built that capacity that we needed to get kind of over the hurdle. Heather Bowman-Cutway, former co-chair, Kevin DuBose, Wanzina Jackson, Andrew Blaskovich up in D.C., hobnobbing with the politicos, he was here too. Chris Floor, the most recent co-chair from the city. Our current co-chairs of the Corridor Commission are Carrie Ingoldsby and Stephen Fulbright. Carrie is Director of Campus Life at Mercer, perfectly positioned to connect the students with the efforts in the community. And she does it so well. She works, plays, lives, works out in the corridor. She's in the best shape of anybody here, probably. Stephen Fulbright, Main Street Director, perfect connection with our downtown and our urban core. Member of the Macon Arts Board and the Macon Film Festival, and they're our dynamic duo who are going to take us into the future. I'd like to call them up here and tell us what lies ahead. Thanks.
Hello. Stephen couldn't be here tonight. He had a family emergency, so I'll be talking on his behalf, on our behalf. So thank you for the introduction. We certainly have big shoes to fill as the commission moving forward, and we're really excited about doing that. Over the last 8 months or so, we've known as the College Hill Alliance was sunsetting that we had a job to do, and we really need to be able to roll up our sleeves and get to work as a commission. We are a volunteer group that it has always been in existence, with Sarah starting that, and moving forward has worked alongside the Alliance to push out the ideas and projects and to really create communication lines between community members and get things done. I learned a lot from Heather, who passed it along to me, and from Chris, so thank you so much for everything that you did and all the information and help you gave me along the way. So who is serving on the commission? I want to introduce briefly who those commission members are, and I want to assure you that we have an awesome group, 14 wonderful community members and leaders that are all stakeholders in the movement, the College Hill Corridor movement. And several of them are here tonight, and I'm just going to call their name, and if you just raise your hand so we know where you are. So Lee Oliver, that's In-Town Association, Brad Below with Bells Hill, Ethiel Garlington with Historic Macon, Andy Silver, Friends of Tattnall, David Moore, Newtown, Ashton Cole Porter's our student rep with Student Government Association, Stacy Harwell Dye with Centenary, Lauren Kritzis with Macon Arts Alliance, Alex Morrison with UDA, and of course Carl Fambro, the mayor of Mercer Village. And yes, he is. We do have 2 at-large residents. We wanted to make sure to have community members to have a voice on the commission. So Ted Goshorn, who couldn't be here tonight, and Essie Russian, who could also not be here tonight, are also serving. So we have a dynamic group of commission members that have a real passion for getting involved in moving this mission forward and moving all of the energy and spirit that has been here for 8 years, starting with Alex and the students, moving through the Alliance, continuing with the commission. So we really look forward to doing the great work that's been done. So we do have some short-term goals, but I want to just quickly mention the most important and exciting short-term goal is thank you so much to Beverly and the Knight Foundation. We have some funding this spring to bring some of your ideas to life in the corridor. So it's similar to the Knight Neighborhood Challenge grants. We'll have an online submission form that will be on the College Hill Corridor website, and it's a fairly short form. It's easy, so it won't take long to fill out. We want to hear your ideas. We want to know what you want to still do in the corridor. I know there are so many fantastic ideas out there, and I know you're all ready to go home and start writing those ideas up and submit them. So we look forward to all of your submissions, and please spread the word on that. So, dear Macon, as we celebrate and reflect on all that has been done over the last 8 years, know that the corridor movement is very much alive and the great work will continue. Now let's enjoy this special presentation. Our love letters for some of our biggest champions. Love, the College Hill Corridor.
Camera speed. Speed. All right, Jessica.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Dear Macon, take 1C.
Dear Tattnall Square Park 6 years ago, I know things look grim for you right now. You see neighborhoods growing up all around you, and you still look like you did in the 1980s, and that was not a good decade for you. You've got high weeds, trash, dying trees, broken benches, half of your sidewalks are missing, and your grand centerpiece is a flagless flagpole. Just wait. A community is gathering. And we're about to find out what happens when neighbors and city government roll up their sleeves to reinvent public spaces. You're going to be a symbol of everything that's best in this community. Love, a neighbor who got tired of looking at a pitiful park.
Dear Macon, 6 years ago, this thing called the Knight Neighborhood Challenge is going to transform the way that we approach community change, because people know best what will improve their neighborhoods. Little grants are going to make a big impact. Just you wait and see. Love, a program manager who really, really loves Macon.
Big change is coming. You're about to show Macon what it means to be a great neighborhood.
See those old boarded up houses? They're going away. We're making Bells Hill home sweet home again. Love,
a family who believes in your potential.
Dear Macon 6 years ago, we're about to grow up together. You've shown me that these changes I dreamt of in the classroom can really be possible. And if we want to keep making big things happen, I've got to come back and get to work. This is just the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Love, a bear that proved that changing the world starts right outside your door.
People keep telling you that plans in Macon just end up on the shelf, but that can't happen with College Hill. So keep at it with the big public meetings and the funny small meetings and the many opportunities for community input. You won't believe what's going to happen. Love, a law professor proudly raising 2 hooligans in the corridor.
Dear College Hill 6 years ago, I never knew when I moved here almost 6 years ago how much you would grow on me. I live, work, and play here in the corridor, and I'm your biggest fan. Don't let anybody ever tell you you have an expiration date. College Hill is here to stay. Love, a commission member charged with continuing the important work.
Dear Mercer Village merchants from 6 years ago, I know the summers are scary. Your customers are a community that loves you. If we wanted it easy, we'd be in a storefront. Be proud to be more than just in a strip mall. Hang in there. Love from the mayor of Mercer Village.
Dear Macon 6 years ago, dogs and cocktails do mix. Art should be covering the sidewalks, and movies should be shown outdoors. Always have fun when planning your events, and make sure to include everyone. Love, a College Hill resident, an artist, and a little bit of a hellraiser.
Dear Macon, 6 years ago, people are going to doubt just how fast change can happen, but they've never seen a public-private partnership like this one. Let me know if I can help, because I like what I'm seeing. Love, a Macon-Bibb County city engineer who just retired but can't quit the corridor.
Dear College Hill Alliance 6 years ago, you handed me the keys to an office, a box of files, a catchy logo, and the beginnings of a concert series in Washington Park. Together we created a lifestyle in the corridor. And that bright orange brand? Well, it's something that we can all hang our hats on. Love, your grateful communications director who will never stop believing in the corridor.
Let your little light shine. You're not as unsafe as some people say. Just turn your porch light on. Meet your neighbors. Tell them to turn their light on too. Love, a biology professor with a bright idea.
Dear Macon 6 years ago, listen up. Did you know your neighbor has something to share? We're listening, and we're going to share your stories with the world. Love, your very own agents of change.
Dear Macon 6 years ago, you could really use a little creative intervention. Let's live life in full color. Put art where you least expect it. Let's make a historic and hip part of town beautiful. Love, a sometimes starving artist who left her creative mark on the corridor.
I was born on College Street, and I brought my family to live here, and many people came before us to make this the wonderful area that it is. And now you have the resources to do wonderful things, and that's what we expect of you. So love from a longtime supporter, but remember, I'm watching you.
Dear Mercer 6 years ago, things are about to change. Just wait until my class shows up. The Mercer bubble will be a thing of the past, and instead, everyone wants to be in the corridor. In fact, some of us may want to stick around after graduation. Kind of like you, Macon. You're way cooler than you thought. Love, a graduate who needs a job so she can stay in Macon.
Dear College Hill Alliance 6 years ago, I can now add street sign design, park gateway construction, and solar-powered trash compactor operation to my list of professional skills. It won't always be easy, but how many of us get to wake up and witness the community in action every day? Love, the one who Andy Silver always kept on speed dial.
Dear Magnolia Soapbox Derby 6 years ago, don't be afraid to take a risk. Failure is never an option when the community is having fun, and truth be told, the crowd is there for the crashes anyway, so make a party of it. Love, a fearless driver turned organizer of the annual Magnolia Soapbox Derby.
Dear College Hill 6 years ago, you're not going to believe it when your problems change from finding hay for the Soapbox Derby to building houses fast enough for people to move into the corridor. We're going to really blow some minds when what's abandoned today becomes some of the best-selling real estate in Middle Georgia tomorrow. Love someone you can blame or thank for taking the focus off of suburbia.
Dear In-Town Macon 6 years ago, we have historic charm to retain, but it's okay to be quirky too. How about a 60-foot-long in-ground slide down Coleman Hill? I have a feeling that if we work together, we can put some amazing ideas into action. Love, a neighbor whose idea brought out the kid in all of us.
Dear College Hill 6 years ago, had my wife and I realized the uncertainty of opening a business back then, we probably would not have done so. But we are so glad we did now, because being a part of Mercer University has been such a blast. And in the process, we've sold a few tacos and a little tequila.
Dear College Hill Alliance 6 years ago, let's dream big. We'll turn this small town initiative into an internationally recognized success story, launch the maker movement in Macon, and bring a 30-foot tall fire-breathing robot to Tattnall Square Park. Love, the staff member who's held almost every position in the office.
Dear Bells Hill 6 years ago, we will grow our family in your neighborhood. We will have porch parties and potlucks and watch the community garden we plant grow into one of the sweetest spots in the city, complete with a hobbit hole, because
we're hobbit.
Love, a family who planted its roots and sowed a lot of fun in the corridor.
That's perfect.
That was great. Thank you to everyone who put that together. That was so well done. So I think everyone in this room, including the little ones, have had a part in what happened. So pat your neighbor on the back, dry your eyes. Let's get ready for some more work ahead of us. Grab a drink. We've got Robert Lee Coleman and the Night Owls to close out the evening. But that concludes our formal program. Thanks again for being here. Thanks again for all the work that brought us here tonight. And enjoy the rest of your evening.